Tonight, a fighter jet has gone missing off Japan's coast. What this means for international relations.
Mayor Bill de Blasio issued a state of emergency, what caused the decision and what it means for New Yorkers.
And a gas explosion kills one in North Carolina. We give you an update on the current situation.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Seth Prevertill.
And I'm Jessica Kisluk. One person is dead and over a dozen more are injured after a gas explosion and building collapse in Durham, North Carolina. The explosion happened this morning at 10 when a construction worker was excavating under a sidewalk and hit a 2-inch gas line. Eyewitnesses say that the block was mostly destroyed and reported multiple residents that suffered deep cuts and lacerations.
17 people were transferred to local hospitals. 6 of those people were in critical condition at the time, and one of them was a firefighter who responded to the call. The firefighter's injuries were critical but not life-threatening. A representative for the construction company told CNN that the workers were instructed to remain inside a building on site while the gas leak was inspected. 15 minutes later, the crew heard what they described as a bomb. A search and rescue operation is currently underway.
State forest rangers and local firefighters have been working hard this week, battling 22 wildfires across the state. The largest 3 fires burned up nearly 30 acres in the capital region and took the life of a Mohawk Valley resident. The Department of Environmental Conservation stated that as a result of high temperatures, low humidity, and strong winds, the state's southern and eastern regions have a higher risk of wildfires. Fire departments across the state are monitoring the fires.
U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer has asked the Federal Department of Labor to investigate the abrupt closing of 23 Friendly's restaurants, including 14 of their upstate New York locations. Schumer believes that Friendly's ignored or found a loophole regarding advance notice to large-scale layoffs. Friendly's stated that it will offer their employees opportunities at other locations or severance payments to accommodate those recently let go due to closings.
SUNY Oswego was the setting for a recent public lecture on the evolution of predatory dinosaurs' limbs. Reporter Alexander Griffin was on scene to capture this unique event and to glimpse into a greater understanding of dinosaur anthropology.
Even a windy day won't stop history from being made on campus at SUNY Oswego. A visiting professor made an appearance on campus to educate students on her research concerning predatory dinosaurs, specifically the evolution of their forelimbs.
Outside of the event room, we are only moments away from witnessing Professor Sarah Bursch of SUNY Geneseo providing her anthropological insight on the biological evolution of forelimbs in dinosaurs.
Assistant Professor Birch had presented her findings in way of a lecture presentation, which was open to the public and held at the Shinneman Science Center. The students who had attended this lecture were given a new way of thinking about our evolutionary predecessors.
The past of dinosaurs, all this kind of stuff, is more complicated than what we thought about when we were kids, but it's a lot more in depth than what we previously thought of.
Professor Birch's research had started since her undergraduate degree. Her discoveries were accompanied by the research of her Geneseo students, who had made their own in-depth discoveries about the dinosaurs, and she is hopeful that students may rethink the stereotypes of the dinosaurs' forelimbs.
I think what I would hope to take away is to kind of challenge their ideas of what dinosaurs might have been doing with their forelimbs. So, T-Rex, everyone knows they have tiny forelimbs, they weren't using them, but hopefully maybe I convinced some people that they were maybe using them and that there's a lot more behind the story.
Alexander Griffin reporting.
Professor Bursch and her students still continue to look into the progression of predators of the past.
After 8 years as chairman of the Board of Trustees of the State University of New York, H. Carl McCall has announced his retirement. After more than 50 years in public service, the 83-year-old announced on Wednesday that he intends to pursue other interests. Governor Andrew Cuomo stated that McCall was a trailblazer who paved a path for others to follow.
New York lawmakers have denied a bill that would have provided tuition to the children of families of military personnel who were killed in the line of duty. This comes a week after lawmakers passed a state budget providing $27 million in aid through DACA. The bill would save relatives an estimated $500. New York college students will be eligible for tuition aid for dependents of New York military members killed in action to attend SUNY and CUNY schools.
Visalia Town Supervisor Dennis O. Brown has been accused of stealing more than $2,123,000 and $23,000 from the town. According to New York State Comptroller Thomas P. DiNapoli, Brown has not only been accused of using town funds to pay off his personal credit card bills, but also to pad his salary an additional $20,000 a year. Brown was charged with second-degree grand larceny, scheme to defraud, public corruption, and others.
A public health emergency has been declared in the measles outbreak in New York. Reed Binion has the latest.
Today, we are declaring a public health emergency effective immediately.
A public health emergency has been declared in New York City as measles cases continue to spike at an alarming rate. 285 cases since October, with more than 450 cases confirmed in 19 states.
This is the epicenter of a measles outbreak.
Under the new orders, city health officials will now comb through vaccination records of those who may have come into contact with infected individuals. And anyone who hasn't been vaccinated or doesn't get vaccinated could be facing a fine of up to $1,000.
We cannot allow this dangerous disease to make a comeback here in New York City. We have to stop it now.
Mayor de Blasio is even threatening to shut down schools that don't ban unvaccinated children from attending school.
If they persist in allowing this danger to continue, we have the option of closing them for a period of time until this crisis has passed.
The city says that even though these are strict and unusual steps to be taking, they want people to realize they're not messing around in stopping the outbreak.
There have been emergency declarations for snowstorms. If this is not an emergency, what is?
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Doctors are recommending that residents go seek the vaccination rather than waiting for officials to contact them.
Coming up later tonight, we look at the new gun legislation New Zealand passed.
And blizzards are set to hit the Midwest. We look how people are preparing and reacting.
But first, let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Christine Gregory.
Christine?
So it was pretty sunny today. Can we expect that going on forward?
We can. Now, we did have a really nice day out today. I did see a lot more people outside. I want to start us off with a really beautiful view of the lake and the sunset that we got earlier this evening. Now, I'll take it back to the green screen, showing you our current temperatures. Despite that sun, we are a little bit on the cooler side. Temperatures are in the mid-30s. We're at 35 here in Oswego. And along with a little bit of a breeze, they have since calmed. Since this afternoon, we are at 3 miles per hour off the lake, keeping us a little bit cooler. And our satellite in radar is showing those prolonged dry conditions. Stay tuned for more of your forecast to find out if and when these conditions are going to change. We'll be right back.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
It's me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
That was pretty good today, pretty good. You know, yeah, I thought he called a pretty fair game.
Come on, man, that was a weak call.
Yeah, man, that ref is totally soft.
You might not know everyone in your community, but if you did, you'd see that people in recovery from mental and substance use disorders are all around. Reach out for support and begin your recovery journey. Join the Voices for Recovery. Strengthen families and communities.
For confidential information on mental and substance use disorders, including prevention and treatment referrals for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Good evening and welcome back. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Christine Gregory. Now, we were off to a little bit of a cooler start here in Oswego today. Temperatures right now are in the mid-30s. We're 35 here in Oswego. If we take a quick zoom out, the bigger picture, not much is different. We are in the upper 30s there in Syracuse, a little bit cooler down in Jamestown at 32, a little bit warmer in Buffalo, 36 degrees. Now, despite the sun that was out, we were able to get up to a temperature of 41 degrees, so a little bit more towards what we want to see this time of year. Our radar and satellite is showing us clear and dry. Now, I want to take us out west. You may have heard or will hear about this major storm out west that is bringing significant snow across parts of the west. But this system, as I'll talk about later on, is not going to be very impactful for us here in central New York. So here's what you need to know. Overnight tonight, we are going to be dry but cold. We'll start to see clouds increase heading into tomorrow. We are going to see temperatures slowly warm back up, but that will come with some chances for rain. So overnight tonight, we are going to expect to be pretty cold, 31 degrees here in Oswego, so don't put that jacket away quite yet. So I'll time out what's going on. So overnight tonight, we're clear and dry. We wake up tomorrow by afternoon, we are at 40 degrees. We start to see those clouds come in Thursday afternoon, making it to a high of 45 degrees, so a little bit warmer than today. So jumping into Friday morning is when we start to see those first chances for a sprinkle, temperature still in the mid-40s. Now Friday evening is when we start to see our next big weather maker. We see a significant line of showers push through, see temperatures all the way up into the lower 60s. We could even see some rumbles of thunder with this line of showers. Again, later on for your Friday, another wave of showers just heads on through. So if you are heading out Friday night, definitely pack a rain jacket and watch out for the radar. So if you are planning to do any yard work, tomorrow is your best day for it. It looks pretty great. Heading into Friday, we do see increased chances for those showers, so definitely try to get that yard work in the morning. By evening, definitely got to keep inside and watch that radar just in case you are still doing that. So for your 7-day, we see clear skies for Thursday, a little bit of cloudiness. We have temperatures in the lower 40s. Friday, we see temperatures making it up to the mid-60s. Again, that comes with chances for showers. We dry up for your weekend, temperature of 53 degrees. For your Sunday and the start to your work week Monday, we see chances for rain and showers, a little bit of wind, ending your work week with the 50s. That sun comes right back out. Stay tuned for more news and sports. You're watching WTOP Nightly News.
Pretty good today, pretty good. You know, I thought we called a pretty fair game.
Come on, man, that was a weak call.
Yeah, man, that ref is totally soft.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. Japan's military reported yesterday that contact was lost with an F-35 stealth jet. The hunt for the plane and the pilot was 84 miles off the coast of Japan, where Russia and China have a heavy naval presence. This could be a problem for the future of the U.S. air power if Russia or China recover the plane first. Finding the jet would give information about the most expensive weapon system in the world, raising security problems for the U.S.
Well, it's beginning to look a lot like winter. From Wyoming to Minnesota, 4 million people are under blizzard warnings. More than 600 flights have already been canceled in preparation for the storm. Omar Hinamez has the latest in Minneapolis, where the snow could break spring records.
A powerful April blizzard is forming over the Rockies, Plains, and Midwest, putting millions at risk for heavy and potentially record-breaking snow.
I'm sick of this weather.
In a matter of hours, temperatures went from spring-like to snow, giving people in the region a sense of winter whiplash.
On Monday, it was almost 70 degrees, if not 70 degrees. Then you go back to this. Yeah, I'm over it.
The Plains could get more than 2 feet of snow by Friday morning, and South Dakota may see up to 30 inches. Before the snow started falling, heavy fog blanketed the Denver metro. The low visibility just one sign of the rapid change in weather. The storm is packing a punch, too, with 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts in some areas, making traveling dangerous, major airports packed with passengers as airlines cancel hundreds of flights, and since snow isn't the best baseball weather either, the Colorado Rockies postponed their game. Minnesota is no stranger to snow.
I grew up in snow country, and spring comes along 2 or 3 times every spring.
Last year, a mid-April blizzard brought a record 15.8 inches of snow to the Twin Cities. But as clouds roll into Minneapolis, forecasters say this storm could shatter more records.
We're well prepared for it psychologically and I think physically. We have good trucks and good snow removal equipment, so we're in good shape.
In Minneapolis, I'm Omar Jimenez.
Denver, who has already begun experiencing downfall, has around 100 plows ready to respond.
A high school principal died on Sunday from complications while donating bone marrow for a 14-year-old in France. Derek Nelson was the principal of Westfield High School in New Jersey. According to CNN, Nelson decided to donate his bone marrow to save the 14-year-old's life after being contacted by Be The Match. Senior class president of the high school says Nelson always tried to inspire students inside and outside the classroom to be good to people and was a great role model.
Less than a month after a New Zealand mass shooting, the nation's parliament voted to change the country's gun laws. In a nearly unanimous 119-to-1 vote, members of New Zealand's parliament voted in favor of banning military-style semi-automatic weapons. The vote comes after 50 people were killed at 2 Christchurch mosques last month. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern says the attack marked one of the darkest days in New Zealand history.
We are ultimately here because 50 people died and they do not have a voice. We in this House are their voice. And today, Mr. Speaker, we have used that voice wisely.
A Maryland man is accused of plotting a terror attack just outside Washington, D.C. Prosecutors say he had a plan to drive a U-Haul into crowds of people at the National Harbor in Baltimore, similar to the 2016 attack in France. Kevin Lewis reports.
National Harbor is a family-centric destination for locals and tourists alike. Word of an alleged terrorist, Rondell Henry, targeting the harbor stunned many. The harbor has a police substation, private security, dozens of cameras, and bollards to prevent vehicles from driving onto the main pedestrian walkways. However, ABC7 found a number of gaps large enough for even small box trucks to squeeze through.
What do you do? Stay home? I don't want to.
Dorothy Mulqueen of Bowie thinks the existing bollards are good enough.
These things that they have here, I think that's sufficient. I mean, you can't put up barriers everywhere, every place.
Yet Roderick Wisdom of Atlanta, Georgia, argues more security enhancements can't hurt.
Safety is, it should be a major concern. So if there are things put in place to guarantee the safety of the, people that's coming down, I think that's more important than the mindset of feeling like you're bowing down to terrorism.
Today, we're also learning more about Henry, who lived in this Germantown apartment complex.
You start to go ahead and wonder what the hell's going on up there.
This neighbor grew so suspicious of Henry, he recently wrote down the 28-year-old's license plate number on a sticky note with the word terrorist. Court records show Henry filed for divorce in January, his ex-wife now living in Columbia, South Carolina.
At a hearing Tuesday, Assistant U.S. Attorney Thomas Wyndham said Henry admitted to being inspired by ISIS. Prince George's County Chief of Police says the National Harbor area is safe.
Coming up in sports, Owen Gallagher.
Hey, Owen, what do you have lined up for us?
Thanks, guys. We had a little bit of history made on the diamond this afternoon with Oswego men's baseball. And while they continue their success, the men's lacrosse team is looking to make a push right before the SUNYAC playoffs. I got that report coming up after the break. You're watching WTOP 10 Nightly News. And the Heat are getting crushed.
Guys, I don't feel so good. Shouldn't have had that chili for lunch.
When you are in space, you can't run down to the store to buy parts. You have to improvise with what you have on your mission. Making is when there is something new that was not in existence at the beginning of the day. Okay. It's an incredible sense of accomplishment when you have made something. That's why I make. Now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Hello?
Josh, the stream's not working. We need you to fix it right now.
The stream's down? I'll be right there.
And welcome back to 10 Sports. I'm Owen Gallagher here with your sports update. We start tonight on the diamond. The Laker baseball team defeated Clarkson this afternoon 10-0. But it wasn't just a shutout. It was a combined no-hitter. Matt Bowman, Jake Jacobs, Eric Dusseldorp, and Matt Zakala combined for the no-no, giving up one walk in 7 innings of work. The Lakers will be back in action Friday as they play a doubleheader against Geneseo. And the spring athletic season is in full effect, and one team that has high hopes for this season is men's lacrosse. Sports reporter Michael Gross got a chance to find out what their mindset is marching into SUNYAC play.
Lakers on 3, 1, 2, 3. Lakers.
With the season halfway through, the men's lacrosse team found themselves 5-2 entering SUNYAC play in the 2019 season. Led by senior Bobby Emerson and coach Drew Bezek, the guys are looking forward to improving during the latter half of the year.
I thought we did all right. We only lost 2 games. We were just unprepared, and we're more prepared for SUNYAC play.
With only 2 losses, the Lakers are off to an outstanding start this season. To make sure that they don't become complacent, one thing Coach Bezek values is correcting the mistakes and going with what works.
I think really the biggest thing is to understand what we did wrong, take the positives, and make sure that we build on the positives so that, with a lot of guys, you lose a game and then everybody just looks at the negatives, where a lot of times you need to be able to build on some of the positives.
Bezek is very impressed with his young talent so far and hopes that they can continue to be valuable as the season heats up in the SUNYAC.
We have a lot of younger guys that I think are progressing and learning a lot, that have been doing a good job, and hopefully we'll be able to have a positive impact once we get into SUNYAC play.
The Lakers won their first SUNYAC game at Brockport 11-8 and hope to fish out a win at their home opener against rival Plattsburgh at 1 o'clock on Saturday, April 13th. With WTOP 10 Sports, I'm Michael Gross.
And Bobby Emerson is now only 4 points away from joining the 100-point club in his career, as the men's lacrosse team is looking to make it back-to-back SUNYAC championship appearances and their 5th in program history. Now, the Oswego Stampede, a junior hockey franchise based in Oswego for the past 8 seasons, will have a new home next year. The Stampede are now the New England Knights, a change effective immediately. Knights owner Tim Lavelle says he is excited to add a team in the NA3HL, a league that has proven to be a great stepping stone for aspiring college hockey players. And it's the big one. The Masters is less than 12 hours away, and the field is prepping for play at Augusta National. Rory McIlroy, Justin Rose, and Dustin Johnson have played well at the Masters, but the green jacket count between them is 0. The favorite to win the jacket? Well, that'd be Tiger Woods, who's seeking his first win at Augusta since 2005. With everyone looking to the first round, we got a taste today at the par 3 contest. We had a lot of superstars in the mix, but we're going to kick it off here. Mark O'Meara on the 5th hole. His shot's going to take a couple of bounces, but that one's going to plug in the bottom of the cup. O'Meara, little man, showing off some moves on the tee box. Looks for the high five, and oh no, O'Meara didn't get the high five, but he got the hole in one. Next up, though, Shane Lowry, 6'1", 225 with a graceful swing. The ball skips, checks up, and that one's going to roll into the cup. High fives all around. Keegan Bradley getting on that action. But Wendy, his wife, there with their baby girl, Iris. What a celebration. What a moment there for the Lowry family. And now it's 19-year-old Devin Bling. Show me the money, Devin. Current UCLA student playing in his first Masters. Would we show this if it didn't go in, folks? Look at the spin on this ball as it rolls into the cup. Whoa, Devin Bling, throw your arms up in celebration on that one. And again, the Masters, we all have eyes on, of course, Jack Nicklaus. He has a chance here, but it's just going to go wide. Gary Player, I will point out, though, did have a hole-in-one. 80 years old. Good for Gary Player. Jack Nicklaus comes so close on that one. He'd finish with a birdie, though. Not too bad.
Well, great day on the greens for sure. I know the Stampede are relocating, but there are some professionals on the ice tonight. Owen, what do you got?
Yeah, we had some pro hockey. Of course, Stanley Cup playoffs start this evening. Islanders scored 2-2 against the Pittsburgh Penguins as they head into the third period. So that's a game to keep an eye on.
Very close one indeed.
And it doesn't look like it's going to warm up till Friday. Is that true?
Well, not quite. See, overnight we are going to be seeing temperatures in the 30s. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't put that jacket away. You're going to want to you're going to want to have it. Starting off for your Thursday and Friday, we do warm up, but that does come with chances for rain.
I do like seeing the 60 on there. It's been a while since we've seen that. But anyway, that's our report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for The Real Deal.
Thank you for watching and have a great night.
Hey, President Stanley, what's your favorite television station?
I don't know. Hey, guys, what do you think?
Guys, I don't feel so good. Shouldn't have had that chili for lunch.
The second I got on the campus, I knew Oswego was the place to go.
There's a place for everybody at Oswego.
This school just opens the world to you. Have the opportunity to explore and to learn so many different things, not only about yourself, but the people around you and the world.
It definitely is about the student. I felt it to be very about me. Now that I'm here, I can't imagine myself anywhere else.
How do we afford all this?